Nah, mate. Oh, knock knock. Something real, something raw, not accidental, no, I'm sure. You're not needed, show you the door, but what's that, yeah, are you sure? Yeah, that's a rental, yeah, what a bore. Lying, nothing in your core. Buying, yeah, what for? But do what I need to, always sure. Something real, something raw, not accidental, no, I'm sure. You're not needed, show you the door. What's that, yeah, are you sure? Yeah, that's a rental, yeah, what a bore. Lying, nothing in your core. Buying, yeah, what for? But do what I need to, always sure. Boring, never been that. I get paid, bro, just to relax. Yeah, more money now, yeah, more tax. Sorted it now, don't worry about that. Boring, yeah, I've never been that. I get paid, bro, just to relax. Yeah, more money, but yeah, more tax. But sorted it now, don't worry about that. Flexing, yeah, but your soul is empty. Dripping in diamonds, Fenty. Dripping in vibes, got plenty. Got the technique, yeah, like Jet Li. Ow. One little chop like pow. One little hit like wow. Living for the now, live for the sound. Nice for the dollar, but I'm making a pound, yeah. Worry about that. No, don't worry about that. Worry about that. Worry about that. Like, no, don't worry about that. Something. Worry about that. No, don't worry about that. Worry about that. Worry about that. Like, no, don't worry about that. Something real, something raw, not accidental, no, I'm sure. You're not needed, show you the door. What's that, yeah, are you sure? Yeah, that's a rental, yeah, what a bore. Lying, nothing in the core. Buying, yeah, what for? Do what I need to, always sure. Something real, something raw, not accidental, no, I'm sure. You're not needed.
See how you do under pressure. Yeah, I've been wanting this shit forever. I've been in the field with whatever they throw at me. Brush it off, pick myself up, moving on to the better. Hey. Yeah. Ain't no errors, baby, it's a new era. I wake up early, feeling rich like I'm Kesha. I get to the paper, boy. Extra. Fuck with me, you know that I got it. Come.
Yes, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you once again for tuning in to another episode of the GOW. And god damn, I look good today. Yeet. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, as always, yours truly, the franchise, aka the showstopper, better known as the voice they get a moist. And with me today, man, I got that hood legend in the building, man. He the flies in the room. Mr. 1, 2, 3. Pin that ass down, K Breezy, aka EC's resident Isaac Hayes, King. Too Cold, my boy, was popping.
Man, what's popping, man, is it's the Monday Night Block Party, man. Your boys are here, man. We live, we direct, we doing what we do. Big boy, click right on time. What's going on, folks? Nothing
What's
much,
up,
man. You know, doing what we do best, man. Elliot, what it do? Thoughts on Mania? It could have been better. Well, it was okay. It just wasn't the spectacle that it should have been. Penelope, I dare you drinking that diabetes pop. You better leave that shit alone. Leave that shit alone. With that being said, man, bro. Whew,
talk to me.
I know we talked yesterday. We talked. We rapped a little bit yesterday, man. So today's a fresh new week. We're after the WrestleMania. We're a week removed. So now we got some new, not new faces, but some reoccurring faces. We got some new rivalries. Some people coming back, and Becky Lynch apparently jumped Bayley to team with Lyra, but then when they lost, got mad at her and beat her. So I wonder what would have happened if they'd have won. Would she still been happy? I don't know. It's just me. But there's a lot to unpack and ravel through. But bro, man, what's good, man, on this Monday night?
Hey man, first of all, the ladies did the damn thing tonight on the card. I got some thoughts on Becky, but hey, just because Stephanie Vaquer is on the show, in the words of Booker T, 3 times, give me an Boy, hey, let me tell you, between the big meaty men slapping meat quote and the oh, bro.
Hey, it is what it is. We do what we do, man. We do what we do. Ron says his Wolfpack gear on tonight.
That black and red, baby, you already know what's happening, boy. But no, so I thought tonight was actually a really good overall. I thought it was a really good episode of Raw. The one thing that I've been keeping my ear to the Twitter streets, and I'm always online during the wrestling shows, but just to kind of get a gauge on if other people feel how we feel. And the one thing I will say is that, dude, Raw's tag team division is lacking. Like seeing what SmackDown's been doing the last month and a half, maybe a little longer, but really in the last 3 to 4 weeks, seeing what NXT's been trying to do with their men and women's tag teams, bro, on Raw is lacking on something crazy. And I can tell by what I just said right now, your reaction, you kind of had a similar thought, man. Talk to me. What's your thoughts on that?
Oh, it wasn't a thought. It was a whole conversation me and Allie had just about 30, 40 minutes ago when she got home from work. It was the exact conversation we just had. It's like, damn, why is the Raw the tag team division suck? It's like you look at SmackDown. SmackDown right now is killing it. Even across the board on AEW, TNA. Right now, SmackDown, I gotta give SmackDown their props. The SmackDown tag team division is killing it.
Yes.
What the hell is up with Raw? Raw is lackluster as hell, man. And it's like, dude, I said to her, I'm like, damn, so Ivy Nile loses to Stephanie.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I get that. One, why is Stephanie on Raw again? Why is she on Raw again? She should be on NXT. I mean, I get what they're trying to do, but at the same time, she should be on NXT.
Right.
The Creed Bros. What are you doing with the Creed Bros? Like, man, like how much longer before you know what I'm saying you could push them into the tag team division? Why are they not more involved? Like, okay, we got the New Day, we got the Viking Raiders, we got the Judgment Day, and we got the Creed Bros. Judgment Day is on a teeter of breaking up eventually. So nobody's really looking at them. So that leaves you War Raiders, New Day, Creed Bros, and you could say Alpha Academy if you just want to throw a tag team out there. You can say I can't even think of another Raw tag team, to be honest.
That's really it.
Really. So it's like you're not really doing enough story. You don't have enough bodies, and you're not doing enough with nobody. And then, like, in the stuff you've been doing with the New Day and the War Raiders, hell, the stuff you was doing with the War Raiders and the Judgment Day. I mean, other than them finally losing the titles and the way they lost them,
right.
That was the most exciting thing. The match at WrestleMania sucked. Nobody liked it. And you know, they did nothing. I mean, they had a good match with Judgment Day. It was a good match. Not gonna say that wasn't a good match. That was a really good match. But outside of that, you didn't really have you didn't have nothing from the New Day. They came out, they showed the titles, but they ain't really, you know, they tried to do some stuff, but it's just nothing compared. Like it's nothing compared to what we've been getting on Friday nights. And I will say that, boy, because you know that TLC match, like I said, it deserves to be in the conversation with all the other TLC, the true TLC tag team matches. It deserves to be in that conversation. But yeah, man, I don't know, man. It's just lacking like hell. But we were having that conversation, and you happened to bring it up, and it's like, my dude. See this is why we work on too.
Come on, you already know, man. We Shaq and Kobe. You know, hey, we Gary Coleman and Mr. Drummond. You know.
Hold on. Well, yeah, okay, all right, I take that because obviously height reasons.
No. Hey, I'm Mr. Drummond, bro.
I know I ain't no goddamn Gary Coleman. I know I'm not the Gary Coleman. Hell no. And I'm the oldest. Hell no. You ain't looking me up, my boy.
Hey, what you talking about, Tuco?
Say hell no. Nah. I'm playing the old white man today. But nah, man, it's it needs to spice something up. I don't know what they need to do, but I think they need to add the Creed Bros to the mix, add that extra team, and you know, get something going, man. Because right now they ain't really doing shit. They ain't doing shit. They ain't not doing nothing, and they could be doing something.
Which is crazy because when you look at the Creed Bros, what's up, Doc? When you look
look here, Doc. First of all, he a part of the team. He part of the city. So yeah, well, of course we're gonna rock with the boy.
Oh, by the way, them Shadur jerseys in Cleveland, Browns team shop today just dropped. Get you one.
Oh, yeah.
But
by the way, if you don't know, and if you don't know and you don't see it, you see that.
What that boy Kenny Omega say? What that boy Kenny Omega say? Get the brooms out. It's just sweet.
It's just sweet. All right, now back to the wrestling.
No,
Go ahead.
we're going back to the Creed Bros, bro. And the thing is, when they first came, first of all, when they were in NXT, it was like, okay, hell yeah. When they got called up, it's like, bro, like they gonna be the next big thing. Now they had some issues in some matches where people was getting hurt early on, in matches with them. They were still kind of green, but you legitimately, excuse me, you legitimately have two collegiate champion Olympic athletes that are legitimate wrestlers that you could do something with. And then, I feel like with Chad Gable, again, when they were trying to renew Chad Gable's contract, not only did Chad Gable and his role look more credible, but the whole group looked more credible. It's like once they re-signed Chad Gable, it's like, bro, it's like Chad is kind of doing this thing, but he's okay because he's done enough to establish himself. But I feel like Ivy Nile specifically, out of that whole group, is like, bro, what are we doing? Like, you have so much potential. Speaking of Ivy Nile, her and Stephanie, I thought up until the interference, I thought that was a pretty solid match. The Creed Bros, bro, they are a really solid tag team, and they got a little bit of character and personality. And honestly, I feel like if we being all the way 100, if they can actually stick to the draft rules, bro, send them to SmackDown. Like, can you imagine the Creed Bros and the Profits, Creed Bros and MCMG, Creed Bros and Legato?
And just anybody, any of them teams, man, like they gonna put on a good show because they can all work in the ring. I don't know, man. Right now, you have to remember though, Raw is the entertainment show.
Yeah.
Like Raw has always, Raw has been giving you more wrestling lately. Don't get me wrong. But Raw has always been the entertainment show, where SmackDown has always been considered the more wrestler show. Yeah. Where you might get some little stuff, but you gonna get mostly wrestling for the night of SmackDown.
Right.
So you have to remember that sometimes, and it still sucks because it's like, damn, man, you would think they would have changed it up by now, like mixed it up 50-50, but it's still 65-35, 65-35. So, it's still a little bit of an average, but hey, it is what it is. Big Boy says, man, just by the way they've been showcasing talent from NXT on the main roster. Oh yeah, we've been seeing that. I know you talked about the AAA show also. Yeah, they hyped up, of course they signed, they bought AAA, and then they decided, oh, AEW got a Grand Slam Mexico. Hey, we gonna put on our show. Same weekend, we gonna put on two shows. We gonna give you a Worlds Collide, and then we're gonna give you Money in the Bank later that night. So we're gonna give you two shows. So we're gonna get 3 shows of wrestling in one weekend, which hey, it is what it is. That's almost WrestleMania time frame, bro. Because you think about what the Worlds Collide is gonna do, and then you got the Money in the Bank, and then you got the Grand Slam, but the Grand Slam may not be that bad. That might be a TV show. I can see that, or I don't know.
Don't forget, they got some type of 4-hour TV show coming up soon. They're like a 4-hour Dynamite's supposed to be coming up real soon.
I want to say, I think it's that damn Grand Slam because it's coming on that day. I think that's it. I think that's the show that they're coming on with. So it's like, dude, good Lord. So that in itself, it is what it is, man. We chose to do this thing, so we gonna do this. But that's a lot of wrestling. But so there's gonna be a lot of wrestling going on in Mexico. between LA and Mexico, we're gonna be getting a lot of luchador wrestling, which are 2 main companies. But hey, it is what it is. As a wrestling fan, I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna take it, most definitely.
And you get a lot of good quality. Speaking of wrestling, bro, we had Mommy versus the Prodigy to start off the night. I must say, okay,
they are.
You seen Roxanne, and I'm confused because at first they said she was getting called up to SmackDown, and then she got bumped back down to NXT right after, and then she been back on SmackDown, and now she on Raw. It is what it is. Okay, so you got that,
and then somehow Julia is now on Raw, and now they're working as a heel team.
So you got Julia, and then you got Stephanie Vaquer. Now we're gonna talk about Julia and Steph in a second, but let's talk about Roxanne since she's been around the longest in WWE. Has Roxanne showed you enough? We already know she's at this point a big fish in a small pond at NXT. Has Roxanne proven to you that she's main roster worthy and she's ready to take that next step in the women's division on the big stage?
from what she did at NXT. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. No. I had said, I said whenever she loses her title, the second, this previous time that she had it, I said she should be on the main roster. We'll see her after WrestleMania. They called her up before then. She was in a couple of the big matches. She was in the Royal Rumble. She was in the Elimination Chamber. So she had some moments. She did good. But they didn't do much with her since. Now that Mania is over, which we pretty much figured it would be. You didn't got done with all the stuff you needed to build up for Mania. Talk about that another day, or we already talked about that. So now we know, okay, once Mania is done, we get new rivalries. We get to see some fresh faces or, some, like I said, reoccurring faces. And so right now she's back. The Julia aspect, and I think I was telling my daughter this earlier, I don't think you have to remember, they technically weren't brought in to be in NXT a long time anyway. Right. And that's kind of, because, I question, I question a lot of things. I question one, why the hell did you just put the titles on both of them so goddamn fast? They barely just got in. And then Julia got hurt, so she needed to vacate the championship, but she was back. She was back well within the 30 days that she could have sat and kept the championship.
Yeah.
But I digress, whatever. And then, Stephanie did her thing, and, she defended both belts, and then she gave up the North American. Cool. Now she's the NXT Women's Champion. Julia comes back. She's now a heel. She went and been fan favorite. Now all of a sudden, an instant heel.
Right.
Roxanne still trying to do her one too. And I feel like Stephanie's about to lose it soon, so she can get brought up. But they just needed they needed to get some time in NXT so people will recognize who they are, which we always said was a big thing and a big issue when it comes to people moving from NXT to the main roster. It's people knowing who they are. That's why we love what WWE is doing with NXT now, because you're seeing them on a primetime network. You're seeing more exposure. So you're getting to see who these people are instead of them showing up and people quiet as hell that they don't know that this is somebody who's been in a damn company for 5 years, growing and getting better. And now they on the, like, come on, man. Y'all got to do better than that, man. Y'all got to do better than that. But I digress. So now it's a little bit more. So Roxanne, Julia, Stephanie. Yeah, I say by SummerSlam, I wouldn't be surprised if they're not all on the main roster.
Okay. Hey, I wouldn't be either. Speaking of main roster, so we got a vignette, man. Oh, go ahead.
Hold on, Penelope. I want to see that. I wouldn't actually mind that if she comes in with a different character mindset. Like I want her to own who she truly is.
So let's talk about that.
I really would like to see that, Penelope. Seriously, I really would like to see that.
Well, let's talk about that real quick, because what I was about to say. Wait a second, because actually, since we talking about, let's talk about it. So Natalya, right? We've said that she's kind of been relegated to this Dolph Ziggler role. Now, I told you about maybe 2 weeks ago. Now she was part of Josh Barnett's Bloodsport, and that we seen a completely different side of her. Like we seen like more of a street fighter type vibe, came in with the whole boxing get up, and she was really in that bitch throwing hands, like slapping the bitch up. You feel me? And Natty was showing like this was completely different in W. And this is what we also have to remember, and this is, I think, what a lot of fans have to remember. WWE, and because like you say, it's entertainment, right? So I think a lot of times we forget why people get signed to WWE, because of the way they're portrayed once they get there. Even in the NBA, you take a person that's a bum in the NBA, they will still go out here to your local YMCA or rec league and drop 50 on your ass. Like, don't get it twisted. It's a reason they on the team. It just happened to be that there's other people that's better. So with that being said, with Natty, I think that you don't stick around in WWE for almost 2 decades and never get released if you weren't the shit. But as you see, Natty, she came in during the Divas era, and then along the way, unfortunately, you had WWE going in different directions that weren't necessarily geared towards women like Natty. Unfortunately,
stop being nice. No. Stop being nice. Keep it 100. Vince we all knew who the decision making was. It was Vince. Vince was on that bullshit. He didn't. Natty wasn't sexy enough for him to be out there. He used her for what he needed her for, and that was to help train the other people. Let's
Yeah.
keep it 100. Let's keep it a
Okay.
buck. And you
Okay.
trying to be political? It's the Monday
Okay.
Night Block Party. So, man,
Yeah.
just stop. Take your political ass back to the back. Bring me back my franchise, man. Man, I'm not gonna play like that. No, Vince was the reason why, man, because
Yeah.
we knew how good Natalya was. She just wasn't getting that. Now, don't get me wrong. There were maybe issues with her push or her character or the popularity, but I also think that was the structure, like of how you're presenting her. Like, no, Natalya was always a thoroughbred, always a thoroughbred.
And that's why even when she won the last time she won the women's championship, like, bro, that's why everybody was so happy because, like, yo, fuck, like, you know, it didn't last long. It was like, bro, it was much needed because let's keep it, like you said, keep it a buck, bro. Natty could even in her older age, right? Because she's more seasoned than a lot of the women on the roster now.
She's still my
Yeah, like, bro, she can still wrestle circles around these motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, bro, to see her get one last title reign, I don't care what it is. It could be Intercontinental, US. I would really love to see her get the Intercontinental because that's a workhorse title, and I feel like that's made for Natalia. But no, absolutely, I would love to see Natty the boat get one more title reign at least.
If she comes back and she's in the mid card title picture, I'm not mad at that either.
She could be the next US champion.
U.S. Intercontinental, she needs to have
Yeah.
both. I mean, you know, let her rock with man. Look, because you about to let a lot of whole other people do it, and you're gonna have a whole lot of. Don't get me wrong, I like Selena Vega, but I'm not looking at long term with Selena Vega. So I know you could do something short term with Natty on a 1-2-1-2, and
You know what's crazy? I don't even think, and this is actually, so I know it might seem like it's a step backwards, but I think this could really actually be a step forward. Bro, if you have nothing like for Natty on the main roster tip, I think she would actually do great going back to NXT because you see that crop of women they got down there right now, and Natty versus anybody for the.
Oh no, because that's putting her back in that coaching position. I don't want her in the coaching position. I want Natty to come back and whoop some ass. If she's gonna put people over, then let her do it the legit way. Like let her be her. All right, she win one, and then the person comes back, builds back up. Because we know if there's one thing you're not gonna argue with. You're not gonna argue with Natalya being a legit person for somebody to beat. Because we know you got to be really good to beat Natalya, and you're gonna have to really bring it. You just not finna just. This ain't Vince old days. That's why I'm asking for this. This ain't the book Vince booking. This is Triple H booking. Natalya, Natalya gonna wrestle you. She gonna stretch you out a little bit. She gonna stretch you out a little bit. You may get this victory, you may win, but she gonna stretch you out a little bit. That's all I want. That's all I need. I don't like I said. I don't need nothing too crazy, but I think she needs to have that. I think as somebody that earns it, man, hell yeah, let her get her name on that. Let her add that. She's the only female heart, the only true female heart from the Heart Foundation. Man, let her put her name on as many championships as she can. She already got. She got the Divas. That's WWE, whatever. She's got the tag. I think she did win the NXT one time or another. I think she did. Whatever, but let her get that US or that Intercontinental. Man, hell yeah, let her name get on that, man. You bet not let her name not get on some of that.
Speaking of,
Clive.
What up, baby? Oh, damn, Clive. Speaking of, getting their name back, bro. So we got Rusev back. And so I know we didn't like the way he debuted, but then he had a vignette today. And it was funny because it was very Redeemer-esque. I'm like, okay.
It was Redeemer. Stop being nice and be the franchise and say what it was. It was Redeemer. It was the Redeemer. We watched the Redeemer. His name was Rusev. That was
no. That's what I'm getting to. That's what I'm getting to.
Okay.
I'm building it up. I'm building it up. I'm building up. It's like Legos. I gotta go piece by piece. So as I'm listening to it, he like, okay, I'm done fighting for the woman that's not mine, so the flag that isn't true, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, okay. So, but the thing that kind of like annoyed me just a little bit, I know we probably not going to acknowledge AEW, and that's fine. But my boy said, yeah, I went back to Bulgaria, and then, I lost myself. He made it sound like he just left WWE, went back home, and then came back to WWE. It's like, my
Back
boy.
to WWE in 1-on-1, bro.
I'm
That's
like, bro,
the
you didn't
first
go to
thing you do.
Bulgaria? My boy, we see you just signed with AEW.
Flashy light. Hey, you didn't see me in AEW. Flashy light. What? Redeemer. Flashy light. What? The gamer. Flashy light. No, you don't. Flashy light. No, you don't. No, come on, man. You know how that works, man. He's in Bulgaria all this time, bro.
Bro, when he said that shit, I'm like,
up, brother?
Really? Like, oh, you could just say, oh, I went to like another company. You didn't have to say anything. But like the fact that you made it sound like you just literally went home, stayed home, found yourself and came back. I'm like, all right, whatever.
Cody is the only person that can be mentioned at being at the other company. No one else, everyone else came magically out of thin air and disappeared. I'm Ricky Starks.
Ricky Saints.
I'm Ricky Saints. And that's all that is, man. That's how that. Come on, man. They flashy lighters, man. Man. They work with the MIBs, man.
Bruh, when I seen that video package, I said, there go that goddamn Vince again.
Yeah, man, boys. He ain't even here, but when he ain't here, he's still here. Dude, he gonna fight Otis. Okay.
Which I feel like, bro.
Okay. All right, cool.
I just feel like that's not what I want for a returning Rusev, bro. Like, Otis, really? Like, bro, like y'all, you could have just kept him on the bench until you had something better. You brought him back to fight.
Better what? Better what?
At least Aleister Black, bro. At least he getting the fucking Miz. Like, at least you get like if you look at the Miz on paper, bro. First battle Hall of Famer, double Grand Slam champion. Now, do we take him seriously? No. But goddamn, at least on paper, his work is credible. What the fuck has Otis done for Rusev to come back and that to be a fucking factor?
It's his first match back where he can beat up a big guy and it looks great.
But is he gonna beat up Otis, or is it gonna be a back and forth?
It's gonna be a little back. It's gonna be a little back and forth because it's Otis. But
yeah,
Rusev gonna try to, then he'll get his like, oh, come on, man, come on, man, this is 1-on-1. He's gonna come out. He's gonna do a couple of little things. He's gonna do the wrong thing, and then Rusev is gonna whoop his ass, and then that's the end of it. we already know how this is gonna go. It may go a little bit longer because this is Vince running the show. This is Triple H, so we'll get a little bit out of it, or he could have him squash him. But it ain't like Otis is that serious anyway, so he could come out and just squash him. But we know it. We know.
And then, of course, man, we got Seth freaking Rollins coming out with Braun Breaker and Paul Heyman trying to pretty much buy off that boy Sami Zayn, saying, hey, look, bro, you either with me or against me. But look, I love you so much, I'm going to give you a pass. If you take your ass on over to SmackDown, my boy, hey, look, man, you can go out there and be the next WWE champion. You ain't got to deal with this. But Sami Zayn, man, he stood his ground, had a match against Braun Breaker. Braun absolutely obliterated his ass. Before we went off the air, we had Seth Rollins giving that boy a good old curb stomp. Okay, now that we've seen Braun Breaker and Seth and Paul Heyman another week together, I like the Braun Breaker, Paul Heyman aspect of it. I don't necessarily know if I need Seth Rollins in this, though.
I got to see. Well, we gotta continue the vision.
Yeah, that's true.
We got to see where this goes. I think because we trust Paul, we trust Seth, and seeing Braun Breaker just like, yeah, I want to ride with y'all. It's like I got to see the meaning behind all that because he never really has gotten to why. I mean, Paul, yeah, we understand why Paul. Braun is the thing we don't understand. Where does the Braun aspect? Now he says for his vision of the future. Braun is the vision of the future, which he is. Braun is about to be one of them dudes that's going to be in this thing for a while. So is it more of a evolution 3.0? Is it a Shield 2.0? Is it like how many other people are going to join in? Like what's the I guess what are we looking for? How is this going to work out? But as far as when Braun came out and they had that spotlight on him and they called him behind him, I said, "Ooh,
yeah." That's all I
damn."
said. That
Yeah,
I
that
like.
looks menacing. That looks
Yeah.
menacing as hell. I like that.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, y'all gonna have to make this Seth thing really work for me. But I'm not mad about it
Yeah.
because Seth was sitting there like a G, especially when Brian jumped from the ring to the table and clothesline
Yeah.
Sammy,
Yeah.
and Seth didn't even move. He just stood there like, yeah, I know what he did. I ain't even got to look at it. It's like, okay, I gotta know where this is going. But for what he said to Sammy, hey man, hey, at least you got a warning. It wasn't even a warning; it was an offer. There was nothing threatening about what Seth Rollins said to
No,
Sami
because he
Zayn.
told you straight up what it was and what it's gonna be.
There was nothing, and it's like, wow, this is the heel being compassionate. He's like, you my bro. I'm about to run. I'm about to wreck shit. It's Monday Night Rollins. I'm about to run this bitch.
Yeah.
I don't want you in the way.
Yep. Yep.
Bro, I don't want you in the way. You my guy. I rock with you. I can understand why you don't want to rock with me, but I can't have you in my way.
But here go the funny thing. Somebody else said the same thing because you just said the heel, and I was wondering too because when Seth Rollins, this crowd was weird because when Seth Rollins came out, of course you know he's gonna get the initial pop. Of course they gonna do all that, right? But as he started mentioning like CM Punk and everybody else, they booed the shit out of CM Punk tonight. But Seth Rollins was getting cheers like all the way through and through. So my thing, somebody said this online too. They said, is Seth the heel or a face? And I kind of joked. I said, I guess with this gimmick, Seth gonna be whatever the crowd need him to be for the week. Because I thought he was going to be a heel, but the crowd was fucking with it.
He is. He's the same way as Roman. Like, dude, he was the heel, but people still cheered him because they acknowledged him.
Yeah.
It's the visionary. It's the vision. We're watching and we're just acknowledging the vision. So people go, it's Seth Rollins. Hey, you're gonna cheer or boo him. His antics will dictate what he is. You're gonna still cheer or boo it regardless. Becky's the heel. Yeah, Clive. Becky's the heel.
Yeah. Oh, that's obvious heel.
Right. You know what the sad part is, Penelope? Your comment's not wrong. It's just only one of them is gonna actually make it. We just gotta see we gotta see where it's gonna go with Seth. We trust Seth. We want to see where this angle is gonna go, how far it's gonna go. Who else is, like I said, who else is gonna be involved? Is Braun Breaker? My question is Braun Breaker on a leash or no? Because it don't seem like he's on a leash. It just seems like Seth is just the vet. You know, he's the vet. He's the OG. You know, he's the headliner. He's what Braun Breaker wants to strive to be. But is Braun Breaker on the leash of Seth Rollins, or is this dude just roaming the street and people think Seth is in charge of him, but really he ain't. The dog's just roaming. I was walking down the street and he just started walking with me. I don't know who the hell this dog is, but he ain't stopped walking with me.
So I think it's a little bit of both. I think it's half and half. I think that Braun Breaker, I mean, obviously, if he wants to, he could beat the shit out of anybody in that whole circle, Seth, Paul, whoever. But like you say, Seth, he's proven, right? Seth has shown that he will and has done whatever it takes to get to the mountaintop. Braun Breaker, he sees that and it's like, okay, you know what? Let me go ahead and hang on to your coattails for a minute because you know there's going to come that point where it's going to be student versus teacher. So it's like, okay, yeah, Braun's got all the raw ability in the world. Braun's got all the potential in the world. Braun is a champion in WWE, but he's not Seth freaking Rollins. Not yet. Right. You know, it's one thing to be athletically gifted, but it's a whole nother thing, bro. When you get to a certain point, how many guys and girls have we seen that are athletically gifted, but they're not, they can't crack that upper echelon? How many people have we seen that could talk on a mic, but can't crack that upper echelon? There's a select few people, man, who can, whether they could talk on a mic or kill it in the ring or both, can reach that certain. Even with Seth, bro, it's been the ceiling on Seth. I would even dare to say there's still a ceiling on Seth Rollins. As great as Seth Rollins is, Bro,
his roof is open, my boy.
no. His potential is open, but I feel like WWE has always kind of kept Seth from getting too big. You know what I'm saying?
They closed the dome. Yeah, they closed the ceiling on my boy.
Like I feel like the machine because Seth himself. Seth is out of this world, but you always had Seth competing with John Cena. You always had Seth going back and forth with Roman. For a while, Dean Ambrose was like the secondary face of the Shield when Roman wasn't the guy. You know, so even with Seth aligned himself with the and even with Seth aligned himself with the Authority, he was still neck and neck with Finn Balor. He was still neck and neck with a guy like Kevin Owens. Like I feel like every time Seth tried to ascend, there was always somebody else kind of just like in his way of being that guy, the main one being Roman. I feel like now with Roman kind of out of the way for the time being, CM Punk kind of on the back end of his career, I feel like now is really the first true time that Seth could really be like legitimately the face of Monday Night Raw and be solely the face. Even though Jey Uso is the world champion, bro, I think it's Seth Rollins' time right now.
I mean, well, but that's the thing because people have always recognized that about Seth Rollins. Again, he's always been the workhorse of the WWE. They both have. All three of them have been.
Yeah.
Up until John left, and now he's the workhorse in AEW. But Seth has had his opportunities. He has had his moments, but obviously, he wasn't someone's Vince. He wasn't his prototype of what Vince wanted to push. Okay?
Right.
It was Triple H's. But that's why Triple H had to fight for people like him and Finn and KO and others to try to get some opportunity. Because Vince was just gonna put the same old retired wrestlers in as champion, and he was gonna just keep them coming back in. Every single one of them that he could convince to come back, he was just gonna have them come back and run through everybody like they steal them same dudes from 20 years ago when we know goddamn well they ain't. Now, hell no, you don't tell me Goldberg. Yeah, Goldberg got some one or two good spears, but my man ain't got it like that. I know he got that old man strength, but shit, he still ain't got it like that. And that was the problem. So that's why it's like now, that's why I say, on one of our previous shows, I feel like Triple H is trying to give everybody one of those guys that he knew that was really good at NXT, that was really the spark for NXT being what it was, the standard bearer of wrestling, of being sports and entertainment, but mostly sports. Like it was the sport aspect of we got the entertainment with the characters and people, but boy, we got the sport with NXT when Triple H took it over.
Yeah.
And he's allowing all of them to have their moments now, which is fine. It is cool what it is. So I feel like with Braun, it's like, that's why I asked that question, because it's like he's gonna be that dude, and Seth is and Seth is Seth. He's always gonna always be on top. He's gonna always be the champion you want until somebody else, you want someone else to have the belt.
Yeah.
Like when you need someone to hold the belt and to be that guy, that's Seth Rollins. But when you want someone else to be the champ for another reason, it's somebody else. But yeah, like when you needed the World Heavyweight Championship, you needed that to be something. Who did you put it on? You put it on Seth Rollins. You let Seth Rollins be the workhorse to build that championship up. He's always been that dude. That's always been his place because he's that good that he can do that without a title. I mean, damn, they tried to put the United States Championship on him 3 fucking times, and we kept saying, no, take this damn title off of him, man. We know y'all need to put something on him. Just hurry up and do what you do with Roman so y'all can put the other world title back and somebody, like we were saying all that. So that's my feelings on Seth, and that's why, but I wanted to know about Braun because, like I said, like, dude, like, is he on a leash? Like, is he cool, or is this dude just, hey, man, somebody come get their dog. Hey, man, come get your dog, bro. Hey, man, whose dog is this, man?
Yeah.
Hey, man, I'm up here on somebody moving my car, man. Come get your dog.
Yes, sir.
That's what I want to know. Is Braun Breaker roaming around like that?
No, absolutely. And my thing is, bro, I'm excited to see, like you say, where they go. Bro, look, I know we got a few comments here, and I want to hit to them before we get up out of here.
We gotta talk to the people. Gotta always talk to the people.
But yeah, man, because your boy getting tired, and I ain't gonna lie, I do not want to fall asleep. But before we get to the comments, anything that we pretty much covered everything specifically, but is there anything that's stood out to you tonight or within the last week, man, since WrestleMania, really? And it could be on the WWE side or the AEW side, man. Anything that really stood out to you or any happenings?
Well, one, Logan, so we didn't talk about Logan Paul. He KO'd Jay Uso later.
Mm-hmm.
He caught that boy, and Jay fell hard on that damn. You heard the way he smacked that. Woo, that boy, he sold the shit out of that. Not gonna lie. So they got Jay versus Logan Paul, which, I'm not even worried. I'm not even gonna worry about that. They gotta give Jay somebody to beat. Even though to me, Logan Paul's not a flex, but because he better beat Logan Paul. That's the thing. AJ Styles losing at WrestleMania, bro, that's bad. But you just losing the championship you just won to a dude that is basically a better. He's a better version of David Arquette than you. That's going to be just as bad. So that is what it is. And then the other thing was, it was that, and then it was Gunther and Matt I'm calling the wrong name. Pat McAfee is going to have a match at Backlash. He basically said, man, he want that work. You don't care about who that man is. He want that work. Don't put your hands on me. Don't put your hands on my boy. I want that work. Let's do this.
I will say this. Pat McAfee, just listen to his promo. Dude, Pat McAfee cuts a better promo than 98% of the roster. My boy went on a whole goddamn spiel. He ain't stuttered out one time. My boy was passionate than the son of a bitch. And my boy, he said what he said. He stood on that shit. And he made me believe there ain't no way in hell he gonna beat Gunther. But he made me believe, God damn it, you know what? I know you gonna get massacred, but I want to see it.
I want to see you try. I want to see you try to do what you do. But to speak on what you're saying, that's because Pat McAfee knows how to talk. Yeah. The guy runs his mouth 24/7. He don't never stop talking. So that's the one thing he better go up there and do. He's like, bro, I don't expect you to be great when you get to the ring. I don't expect you to be great when you do other shit. But when you on that commentator or you're on that microphone, I expect you to be what you are. And that's a great talker. He's a great talker. Yeah. And he obviously, what we always say, the celebrities and the people that truly love the business, you can tell the people, even Logan Paul, I give him his shit, but you know what I'm also going to give him? His respect. He truly actually knows and likes and loves the business. So does Bad Bunny. So does quite a few other people. And so does Pat McAfee. So it's like, you can't disregard that, man, when they know like we know. And it's like, we all know. We all know. So we can all recognize it. But yeah, man, he gonna get his ass whooped. But to get to these comments real quick, because let me see where we missed. Hold on, make sure I missed it. Clive one. Oh, Bubba, that's where we at. Bubba, we're good with Sanders being there. We're gonna see what the young boy can do. Clive, no, there will be no Lana with Rusev this time. Becky, Becky is a heel. I said that. What do you think about The Rock killing the business? You got some thoughts?
I mean, I pretty much addressed it when we talked last time, but it's just my thing is this. I understand, when you've put the time in that The Rock has put into the business, when you strategically align yourself and position yourself in such a way that you are now on the board, now you own your own name, and you can kind of do as you please, even though it's not fair, it's not necessarily right, he's kind of earned that. My only thing is the inconsistency. I don't give a fuck if you want to insert yourself in the storyline. That's fine. You fucking Dwayne Johnson. You the fucking Rock. You can do that. Who the fuck am I? The thing is, as a fan, though, where I feel the disrespect is that you fuck up the long term for other people. That's what's like, man, bro. Okay, backlash again. How dare you sit there and say, "Oh, this is always the plan," bro? That's a bullshit fucking PR response. Because John, okay, regardless of however you feel about Ric Flair, they say records are made to be broken. Wrestling is a predetermined sport. We understand that, but at the same time, let's have respect for it. That fucking record that Ric Flair had for 16 years, for 16 world titles, even though it's really like 18 or 19, some would even say 20, but we ain't even gonna go that far. So to have John Cena, who's literally been the standard bearer for over 2 decades for your company, to come in and then for him to win it on a fluke with Travis fucking Scott. That's the thing, bro. Like, it was already a risk having John Cena turn heel with less than a year. It was already a risk on having him turn heel in less than a year with limited dates. It was also a risk on having him turn heel by aligning himself with The Rock, who then just fucking backed out of the shit. Like, dude, you had this man win the most important title of his career as a fucking asterisk. Like,
Yeah.
to me, you killed any credibility. And that's not Cena's fault. It's not Cody's fault. Bro, it's The Rock's fucking fault. Because now you out here in Hawaii, wherever the fuck doing what you doing, and it's like you probably just fucked up the booking for the rest of the year because of your fucking ego. You know? And then the whole thing with Cody. Last year, it was supposed to be, he tried to strong arm his way and into the match, and then it was supposed to be Cody versus Roman. And the only reason that WWE changed course is because the fans were fucking killing you online, and you knew goddamn well you couldn't show up to Philly, hostile ass Philly, and not give the people what they wanted, because it would have been ECW all over again.
And the fact that you knew and the fact that again when he won, he pointed at the man he wanted to wrestle. that was the biggest part.
Yeah.
He won the Royal Rumble and went to the rope and said, "You." He gave him the Hulk Hogan. You.
But you know what's crazy?
On, man.
Watching the documentary and finding out that Cody already knew ahead of time that The Rock was supposed to be the one to do that, and that Cody wasn't fucking with that, and he basically forced WWE's hand by pointing, because he wasn't supposed to point to Roman. That wasn't supposed to have been the thing. He went out and did that on his own because he's like, yo, fuck that shit. Like, fuck that. No. So it's like, yo, bro, it's like, my thing. If you go insert yourself in these storylines, if you're going to pull out your dick and swing it all around and just piss on everybody, my boy, finish the job. Don't give me little squirts, man.
I'm going to ask this one more question, then we get to the rest of the comments and we're going to get out of here. Bro, is this Dwayne Johnson or is this The Rock that's finally come manifest himself?
Oh, bro, this is Dwayne Johnson. And look.
I know I said that like he's two different people, but you know.
No. But I know what you meant by that, because my thing is, as they say, in all jokes, there's a tad bit of truth. So with this final boss character, I really feel like this is Dwayne Johnson pretty much telling you what he thinks about himself in relation to the company. Just he's doing it through the means of the storytelling of a WWE character. Because The Rock is one of those guys where he is probably one of the most strategic, one of the most corporate people in Hollywood. You know, you really can't find a bad thing about The Rock. The Rock is almost like one of those guys where he's almost too perfect, too crisp. We often talk about this with WWE's production, how it's almost too clean, it's almost too crisp, and it's kind of annoying, you know? And so The Rock, it's one of those things where I feel like The Rock is he's throwing rocks at you, no pun intended, but he's smiling at you while he's doing it. It's like, oh, I'm what's best for business, and I'm just gonna come in and shit on creative, and I'm gonna make it about me. But I'm not going to, but it's not really about me. It's I'm what's best for business, but you're really what's best for business, but I'm The Rock. And then who's going to really argue with me, because I'm the boss of your boss. So, yeah, eat a dick, you know.
I'm the people's champion, and the people love me. Yeah, I got you.
And he's got such charisma. And dude, me and you, we know a lady like this. We know people like this. You know, they will look at you and lie to you, and you know they're lying, but they're so convincing, they got you thinking to yourself like, God damn, did I deserve that? You know? Really?
I really did do that. Yeah, yes, you did. Yeah. Yes, I did. But that's why I asked that, man, because it's like it's like, man, he talks like Dwayne Johnson, or he acts like The Rock. It's like, hey, man, has The Rock manifest himself to reality? And even though the answer to it is he's the same person, yeah, but still, we look at Vince McMahon. I mean, people question Vince like that. Like, who is Vince McMahon and who's Mr. McMahon? Like, where's the difference? And it's like, and with everything that came out, now we're really asking, where's really the difference? And that's why I brought that up.
Vince, the real life big bad booty daddy.
I mean, outside of the scandalous parts of it, but that's why I brought that up. Just that character difference, like being able to dissect the real from the character, and it's like, has he gotten to that point now where he is the most electrifying board of director in sports and in entertainment? It is what it is. But let's get through this real quick, man. Also, let's see. I gotta let my boy go. Killing the Business, Goldberg. Oh, he was laughing. Big Boy was agreeing with us as we was preaching doing our thing. Clyde says the Undertaker and Austin not gonna like that. What, Clyde, Undertaker and Austin, do they ever really like half that shit? He also says The Rock is on social media. And then, of course, Big Boy is saying, unfortunately, this is truth about everything that you were saying, as he was agreeing with you. But yeah, no, man. I tonight, other than just those few little things, man, we had to do our 1-2 real quick, man. As we get ready for the next pay-per-view coming up, and then we, it's a busy season for us, man. We in our second busy season. Man, best believe, man, we're gonna try to pop on when we can. We'll let y'all hit the notifications. So far, right now, at the moment of time, Wednesday looks great for an episode of Dynamite. So your boys will be live and direct, man, to talk with y'all about that. Unless my guy here doesn't have any other parting words, I'm going to say them. As always, man, we appreciate y'all. You could be anywhere else in the world, but of course, man, you came to the party, hanging out with your boys, and we appreciate y'all for that. With that being said, man, have a safe night. We'll see y'all when we see you. Peace.